Well, also, Danny, on the topic of movies, I got to give you a tremendous shout out. Uh, you have welcomed me in to the Last Drive-In crew. What's the name for the family?
It's the Mutant Fam, but I don't know if they're still going by that because Darcy, about a week before the show, was saying that some people are using that hashtag to obviously there's bad people that are gonna go ruin stuff. So I don't know if they're still going. I think people were still using it that night too, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't know if it still is the Mutant Fam, but it would be the Mutant Fam for the Joe Bob's last Drive-In on Shudder.
Well, I got to give you a shout out because you have mentioned the Last Drive-In to me for quite a while, and I checked it out. It seemed like something it seemed really cool. Horror movies, all different types. And then you got Joe Bob there. It seemed like a really cool community. Um, the show's cool. You got Joe Bob will come in, give you some information behind the scenes, things that you may not have known about the movie. Have some fun with it, some hijinks, some shenanigans, and finally, I believe it was a what was it? Was it a Valentine's Day special?
Yeah, you had the first ever. I think it was the first time he ever did a Valentine's special. He's usually done like Thanksgiving, obviously Halloween. His Christmas specials are pretty good. They could be depressing sometimes. Not with the movies he shows, but like on one Christmas special, you'll see where he I guess he wanted special guests to come by, and they never did, and it was like a running joke of like he was all alone on Christmas. I loved like the little sketches and shenanigans they did. I don't know if it was this one. It's probably the one before it. He had like a telemarketing. They were like selling off stuff for charity. So it was one of those what do you call those shopping network shows on TV like they were doing.
Right.
It was really fun. And then this one you had the Valentine special. He's making love potions and stuff, and it's just such a fun little show, right? Like you got Joe Bob here, this old cowboy guy who knows a lot about movies. You got Darcy there who's doing costumes and being snarky, and then you guys like his people in the background scenes doing stuff too. So like I'm curious, like what did you enjoy about it? Like I know I love that this was your first experience because you got to see Tammy and the Dinosaur, starring oh my god, what's his name
Paul
from
Walker.
Fast? There you go.
Yeah, I had a blast. And when I saw you had messaged me earlier saying, "Hey, listen, they're doing the Valentine's Day special. You should check it out." I said, "You know what? I got nothing else going on. I've been meaning to do it, so it pretty much lined up perfectly." Tammy and the T Rex. We got Paul Walker, and you had Denise Richards are the two stars of it.
Yeah.
And without really just wasting too much time about everything that happens or about the movie, I would just say you have to watch this movie. Uh, just one quick sentence: Paul Walker's brain put into a T Rex's head, the T Rex's body.
You watch a brain come in the movie, folks.
A brain, Paul Walker's brain, nuts. I mean, that's all you need to know.
I feel like that's spoilers. I love the fact I also watched this movie on Shudder because Shudder apparently might have the only R-rated version because when it came to the states, this movie was edited to be PG-13. And if you watch the R-rated version, you're just like, how the fuck did they make this PG-13?
Yeah, exactly. And so the whole experience was just fun. I mean, aside from the movie was ridiculous and funny, and it's just you know, as horror fans, like me and Danny, and I'm pretty sure most horror fans, you appreciate the good horror movies, you appreciate the weird horror movies, and you appreciate the shitty horror movies. And this was definitely a shitty horror movie. I highly recommend it, but outside of the movie, you know, I started to live tweet along with everybody else, watching the last drive-in, and it was just a really fun time. Everybody was retweeting, liking everybody's tweets, and there was some funny stuff out there from other people. Um, and it really just felt like a community just bonding over a ridiculous horror movie, and it kind of felt like we were all just like seated together while Uncle Joe Bob is there, just leading the way.
Oh, he's so great. I may literally cry when I just recently came on to Joe Bob like maybe a year or two ago. I may cry if he passes away. Like this guy is such a treasure. I wish I knew about him sooner because he's been doing this for years. Like he was on I think TBS or TNT where he was doing Monster Vision, which was a similar show to this. And
Mm.
I might have to track down like videos of that because like oh my god, I can't wait to watch his Halloween special where he covers Halloween one. And I think he covers like he didn't cover two because he didn't have the rights to it, especially he hasn't done three. But he did Halloween one, and then I think he did Halloween four or five.
I'm I'm gonna I desperately want to check those out, but the it's just something inside of me is like when it comes to those movies, I feel like those are my listen, Halloween is my favorite horror franchise of all time, but it's like I want to see them, uh, with Joe Bob, and then I'm like, well, dude, fuck, just wait until October, or at least the last week of
Yeah,
September to really get into the mood, and because there's nothing like late September, October horror movies, everything horror. There's just nothing like it.
that's true. You especially since it's he literally did that I think a year or two ago for Halloween, and he always obviously has to do a Halloween special. We're still hoping for that Halloween 3. Darcy is a huge advocate of Halloween 3. Joe Bob's not a huge fan of it because it doesn't have Michael Myers, and he knows he is a cinephile. Is that what it's called?
A Cinemaphile.
Yeah, he is. He knows his shit. Like I love like all the stuff he knows, like the background drama, where actors are, where they've been. Like so many times he'd be like, then this actor died in their shower with an aneurysm, and you're like, Jesus Christ, why do you know that? And then like the I don't know if you call it the second movie, but he had the director of the second movie, which was Love Witch, which was a great film. And since it's COVID times, he interviewed her via TV set on stage, and it was very reminiscent of Space Ghost. And I was just tweeting along with everybody, yo, this is some real Space Ghost shit right here. And I was like, you know what? Only Joe Bob, only this show can do a Zoom interview right now in a clever, entertaining way. I fucking love this show. Shudder, please never cancel it. I know there's another season. When is the season starting? I need this in my life.
Yeah, I really enjoyed it. Um, I was fortunate enough to have the lovely Darcy follow me on Twitter. Um, it was just a really, really fun time. Shout out to you, Danny, because now I'm every whenever there's a live uh, a show, whenever it comes back, I'm definitely looking forward to getting together with you and everybody on Twitter and just live tweeting that some bitch. And
Hell yeah, I would have been live tweeting more. I literally had friends over,
yeah,
so.
yeah, exactly, yeah.
But yeah, welcome to the Mew fam. Hopefully, we can still use that term. I don't know, but yeah, if you, especially now when we don't have much going on. Like Joe Biden, especially last year, came back around quarantine time. It was like the perfect fucking time, bro. It was
Oh
like,
yeah,
oh my god, thank you. Like,
that's what I'm talking about.
he always he's introducing me to so many new movies, new horror movies I never knew of, and I can't tell you one time that he's shown a bad movie. Even if it's bad, it's so bad that it's entertaining, like Tammy and T Rex.
Oh, but listen, hey, I always say the only way there's a bad horror movie is if it's a boring horror movie.
Yeah, 100%.
I don't give a. It could be so shitty, make no sense, horrible acting, things that other movies can't get away with. But or maybe sometimes they can, but if a movie is boring, there's no fix for that.
I 100% agree with you there, and I'm so happy you finally watched it. It was such a like I was kind of high out of my mind, and I totally while watching it, I was like, oh my god, I should have told John about this when he finally because one of the fun things about Joe Bob too is you don't know the movie till the night of, so like everyone's it's got around you're gathered around the TV set, like or wherever you're watching it, and you're like, "Oh, what's he gonna show?" And then he says, it, and you're like, oh shit," or you're like, "What is that?" And then
I didn't
going
know
down
that.
that, going that, he'll post a picture on Twitter, and then Darcy will like throw some hints, or he'll throw out some hints eventually to do like a little contest on Twitter for people to guess, and like people are on Twitter are on their shit, like they called both movies before, like they were like, "Yeah, it sounds like Tam and the T Rex." And Love Witch, because usually you could go by what Shutter has at the time too.
Mm,
Sometimes he does premieres. I forgot which one he did a premiere of something recently that it wasn't on Shutter yet, so he premiered it. So sadly it kind of goes by what Shutter has the rights to, which is why they haven't shown Halloween 3. They've been struggling apparently, according to Darcy, because she's been such a strong advocate. I feel like now that you've come into the mutant fam, maybe this is the year. I feel like it.
maybe I will bring the energy and the luck to have them
You know,
premiere the movie, Danny.
it'd be wild if this pandemic, which probably won't be over this year, is still raging on, and they can't release Halloween Kills in theaters, and maybe Shutter works something out to get Halloween Kills, and they premiere that on Joe Bob this Halloween. Fuck, that'd be amazing. I mean, I would love to see Joe Bob watch a movie for the first time, and still have you probably have like the cast or crew interviewed or something, but like you know, it's a big pipe dream I got going on there, so
That
we'll
would be
see.
pretty wild. I know today in New York,